What's up, everybody? Jamel Gibbs. Welcome to another live stream. Today we have Andreel Harris and Suan Belcher on the Deal Pro podcast. What's up, y'all?
Hey,
What up?
everybody.
All right, so we're going to give it a couple minutes, give you guys some shout outs, things like that as you join us. Tell us who you are, where you're from. We want to give you a shout out. We see a couple people. The lines are starting to fill up. In the meantime, how you guys doing?
Doing good.
How's everything going today?
Everything is going well. Adjusting to the newness of 2026 and ready to ride the waves.
What's going on new?
With me.
Yeah.
New business ventures. So without saying too much, expanding the phase of real estate. I don't know how deep we want to go tonight, but I'm expanding the real estate phase. So the properties, so we have what we call dead leads, right? So without saying too much, those dead leads are revived. So I'm doing a no deal or no lead left behind strategy.
Nice.
So yeah.
I like that.
Nice.
I like that concept. What about you, Suan? What you got going on?
It's been at least a year since I focused on building a team. So this year has been all about the team, and it will continue to be all about building a team. Because things have always worked well for me whenever I've had an acquisition, a virtual assistant, someone pulling records from the courthouse, and there's 20 deals on the board. So that's been a strong focus and a strong push at the beginning of this year, and it will be for the rest of the next year. So the rest of this year, so for sure.
Excellent. Well,
yeah.
And we're in the office together. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I know you guys got a new office. I know you've been building up that team. Suan actually inspired me to start hiring again, to be honest with you, man. I'm a virtual guy, so hey, I can't be left behind.
Hey, I love it.
No, but honestly, I just hired three new team members the other day. I told you that.
God.
And just looking to continue to grow. For me, this year was really going to be about scaling back a bit and focusing on one big project. But in the interim, you still got to operate a business, right?
Nice.
It takes time to really get the type of the size of the magnitude of the deal that I'm looking to do.
Facts.
You still got to keep cash flow coming in. So, and I realized that within a couple of weeks. So I said, I can't do it by myself.
Without saying so much, Jamel, what is that operation?
Well, yeah, it's something I talked about in the first video I released this year. I'm looking to do a industrial development deal. One that we was looking at right off of 85 on a highway, it's like $10 million. So between that, and I'm also in the middle of negotiating. Well, we kind of got the deal already, an 8.5 acre. I think I paid a little too much for that 8.5 acres, but we haven't closed on it yet. But 30 to 40 townhouses. We're looking to build off of Yanceyville.
Nice.
And that's about it. You know what I mean? But in the interim, those are the two big deals I want to say we're working on. The industrial deal is going to be cash heavy. That's a whole different play. I'm actually learning that as I do it. I don't know anything about industrial real estate, but that's part of the fun of the business, right? You just can't be scared of taking down the giant. You gotta get out there and just attack it, take it by the knees, and then get up to the waist, take it out, man. And then once you get to the head, you won. And I'm all for it. So
I love it. The hardest thing about making $100,000 a month, $250,000 a month, the hardest thing about it is doing it again.
Yeah.
It's doing it again.
That's a fact, man. Yeah. So for me, I'm always inspired. You guys know I have years in the business, but I'm inspired just being around younger blood. I'm the oldest of the group. Andreel don't believe that, but
I don't know. I don't know if you're the oldest or not. Hey, nah, Andreel the oldest. Nah, we young.
Andreel out here fronting. I'm not gonna put her out here like that,
Okay,
but
y'all, how old do y'all think I am? Nah, we ain't gonna start the video.
Let's drop it in the comments. How old y'all think Andreel is?
Yeah, exactly. How old y'all think Andreel is just on camera? We put her on the spot today.
Here we go.
Because we treat her like she's a little sister, right?
Right.
So, and that's all good, but we're gonna have some fun tonight. I'm looking forward to this. We all got some things to share. We all got things that we're working on right now. And a beautiful part about calls like this, and what I love so much, not only can people learn, but we also feed off of each other's energy, and we're able to continue to grow because of that. Like I told Suan the other day, I appreciate him sharing that he was building a team, because it lit a fire under me all over again. And we
that's
feed
the
off of
power of that's the power of this. That's I love it.
That's
also,
right.
Suan, prior to me reaching out, I think I had a dream or something, and something was like, reach out to Suan, like put it together. And I was like, Suan, we got to, do what we do. But prior to me even getting in that office, I've been in my home office for probably since 2014. That's with corporate and with the transition of doing real estate. I've always been in the house since then. So this is a new challenge for me going into an office. But I'm up for it. I love the office environment with this type of energy. Everyone's talking about the same language here.
Let me tell y'all what I love about the office. So I fell in love with the office when I was at the car dealership. Okay. And what I love about the office is when you hear somebody on the phone beside you, whether you're having a good day or a terrible day, their energy brings you up. They're excited, they're rah-rah about the day, changes your whole perspective on life, no matter what you're going through. And if you have that, if you get forced into making a good decision about your day every single day, you don't have any choice but to level up. So it's like that. What do they say? When the tide rises, all the boats rise. Is that kind of thing. So when you cultivate an Andreel or a Mikey or a Mac or the office field, we literally got 5 people coming in for door knocking training. Hired somebody to train them to door knock. While we have a closing, when you got all of that going on at the same time, Andreel's like, hold on, what's going on? I forgot. I didn't put that down. It's like it creates that energy that you need, and then next thing you know, you got a tornado. And
it makes the business fun, man. That's what it does, doesn't it? Right. So I remember years ago when I was on Wall Street, I had that same type of energy pretty much, right? So when you see somebody pull in $100,000 sale, and you didn't get anything for the day, you don't want to leave until you got
facts
that $100,000 sale. It not only helps you as a person, but it also motivates the entire company. Right. So it's the energy that comes from things like that, activities like that. Oh, you just knocked on a door and you got a contract, or you just made 30 phone calls and got a motivated seller on the phone, or whatever the case may be. When people see that, only good things could come from that, because that's built-in motivation right there.
Facts.
Absolutely.
So I definitely appreciate that. That's one thing I do miss about having an office. But the reason I personally got into real estate wasn't to have an office. It was more so to create time freedom and be with my family more so than anything, which is what I've created. So I hadn't been in an office, a real estate office, in 20 something years. And I'm happy because of it, but I can do everything virtually. So the difference is when you do it virtually, you can't feed off of that same energy.
Right?
So
it's not the same.
You can grow a team a lot quicker when you are in person, and really get results a lot quicker because of the results people see in person. It's the environment, like right. You know what I mean? So somebody said that you were 30 years old. How old you guys think Andreel is?
I'm that young? Y'all think I'm that?
Well,
okay, so we know she's not 30.
That young or that old?
She ain't 30.
That young, or y'all think I'm that old?
That's a good question. So
Y'all,
that's gonna be the
somebody
question
get
of the day.
higher so
Do
she
y'all
can
think
tell
I'm
us.
that old, or do y'all think I'm that young?
No,
Yeah,
well, she had a birthday. Look, bro, she had a birthday. She was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go out of town. About to do this big ordeal." And I'm like, Andreel, I was like, "Look, our office. We're gonna get you a
How we
birthday
gonna
cake.
get?
What numbers should we have on the birthday cake for you so we can blow out your candles?"
no doubt.
And when I say get a little sparkly little thing, just put a little sparkly little thing and just let it
We ain't
sparkle.
get her nothing because she ain't tell us how old she was.
Hey.
Whatever.
So the question of the day is, how old do you think Andreel just turned?
You think I'm really
And
that old, or do you really think I'm really that young? Like,
that's gonna be the question B. So
am I really that old? 30?
So Andreel, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? I know you've been on the channel before. Tell everybody who don't know you a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Andreel Harris. I am formerly known as a corporatepreneur. Was helping corporate professionals transition to real estate or retire from their 9 to 5 using real estate. So I teach them how to go from wholesale to holding properties, because that's where the magic happens. Holding strategies, I use the slow flip strategy and the group home strategy as the holding play. Other than that, let's see. I started my journey. Don't be trying to calculate stuff.
Hey, I'm adding it up. Hey, they in the comments, Miss Howard said 45, and then Mr. Above said 18 again. So I'm like, Now Nakia is saying 40, so I'm trying to figure it out. Is it 40? Is it 45?
Never ask a lady her age. We just had this conversation doing lunch. What day was that? Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, but you're our sister, so we can ask you.
Right.
So without you guys trying to calculate but so much, do I want to give y'all I don't care. 2000 and let's go here. 2010 is when I first heard about the flipping contracts wholesaling strategy.
Okay.
That was at my local Rio group. However, that wasn't my first entry into real estate. Like 2006, I went to school to be a real estate agent, and I quickly found out that wasn't for me. I just wanted to invest. So from 2006 all the way up to 2010, I had to figure it out, right? So I'm like, I don't want to be an agent, but that was the only way I knew that how to get into real estate was to go to school. There was nobody talking about it on YouTube. It was not all the things. So 2010.
I was on YouTube. What you talking about?
In 2010?
I was on YouTube since 08.
Only one I saw back then.
You didn't know me. Let's just say that. You didn't know. I've been on YouTube since 2008.
Wow, I didn't know that. Only one I knew was Real Estate Guru, NASA.
Okay.
Back then. And then I was like, dang, I have to figure it out.
Shout out to NASA, by the way.
That's we had the trade. So we go back all the way back then. So now I'm like, I have to figure this out. Prior to 2010, I was a part of, I invested in a course to talk about investing in real estate, paid like $97 for the course off of a radio commercial. Got there. I was the only Black girl in the room. I was the youngest person in the room. I drove like an hour or so to get there. This was like in Clemens. And I was in there trying to learn about real estate. And so the guy, Larry Ledford, I took a picture with him back then. He was like, girl, you're going to be a millionaire. I was just in there absorbing everything. I didn't know what was what. So he actually told me, he said, well, this comes with a one-on-one. I said, okay. So doing a one-on-one, he said, you heard of the RIA? I was like, I have not. He said, you should get there. I go there to teach occasionally. That's where I met, some of you guys might know Tony the Closer. His father, Tony Robinson, he was over the RIA at that time. 2010, that's when I got introduced, started networking. That's when I started learning about wholesaling or flipping contracts back then. So that was my entry into learning about it.
Cool.
And so now we are here. And I didn't work it all the way up until because I didn't have a mentor. I was all over the place. So no,
yeah, I think your claim to fame was you worked a 9 to 5 until you were able to retire from real estate. And now you teach people how to do the same thing pretty much, right?
Yeah. So real estate to retirement. That's the get off the corporate for those who's looking for their exit.
Cool. Now, my man Suan, you've been on the channel multiple times as well. And before we hop into that, Andreel, we have a podcast episode. Make sure you check out the Deal Pro podcast. And if you just scroll through, I don't know where it is, somewhere in there, there's over a couple of hundred episodes.
A lot.
Definitely check out that episode. We shot that episode at the Four Seasons. I believe it was we did a meetup at the event at the Four Seasons, right?
Yeah, we did.
At the Four Seasons, we had another section that Andreel and I shot a podcast in. So you might see people walking by and all of that stuff. Dope podcast. Make sure you check that out. I forgot what we talked about on that podcast. I think it was some about
the group homes.
Group homes. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Group homes.
Yeah.
We got to follow up on that, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna hold you accountable for that because we got to get that was a good episode. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, Suan, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man. I know a good portion of the audience knows who you are, but for the newcomers, who are you?
Well, if y'all don't know, y'all can hear the crowd screaming. They clapped and they like, they everywhere for me right now. They everywhere right now. So okay, real estate extraordinaire, doer, dapper, real estate investor over here. It doesn't matter when it comes to assigning contracts for quick fees today, or when it comes to big boy checks that you want to make in 6 months. We're talking about $60,000, $100,000 checks, or we're talking about just retiring yourself off of one real estate deal and buying bigger multifamily. I've done all of it. I love what I do. I just had a student that bought that just got under contract a 29-acre property that he's buying. So I just love what I do. I really do. I like all the things. I love what I do. I love talking to sellers. I love negotiating deals. I love raising money and talking to millionaires when it comes to signing contracts. Today, my disposition, he didn't know how to handle this buyer. So I met with him for training. I met with him and the buyer, and it turns out the buyer had my cell phone number in his cell phone, from 2020, and he's just like, oh my God, we've done business before. It's just like, yeah, I'm known out here. Let's get it, And so I love what I do. So that's typically what I'm typically doing: single family to small multifamily up to 25 units. And yeah, I'm here to support Jamel and Andreel. I feel like as a real estate community, even though we're all in the same market, I feel like we can all make money together, and there's millions of dollars that's out here for all of us, even though we're side by side. So that's a little bit about me. So
for sure. And to your point, man, I was out here for a good portion of 7 years before we actually met, and both of us were active, and we didn't know each other up until the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
literally, when I first started hearing about you, I was calling sellers making offers, and then somebody said, "Yo, Jamel offered me this." I was like, okay, never. I never even thought about it until like maybe 2 years later. When I heard your name again on Clubhouse, and then I was like, "Oh, that's the guy Jamel."
Yeah, I didn't even know that story, man. So that's interesting. So
it's the townhouses I bought. I was focusing on buying townhouses in Vantage Point. Really, I had just skip traced every townhouse in Vantage Point, and I was aggressively buying as many townhouses there. So I had like 6 townhouses in Vantage Point, and one of the ladies that was selling me 2 units, she told me that she had went to your seminars in Charlotte, and so that's how you originally came up. So
got you. Yeah, because not only was I doing local business, I was doing more national business.
Yeah,
which I still do a lot of national business as well, but my focus over the last couple of years has been more 30 minutes outside of our local area, pretty much. While wholesaling outside nationally, you know what I mean? So I'm just changing up the business model a little bit. Look, I'm in my mid 40s officially, so I'm kind of Yeah, I'll be 45 on March 12th, as a matter of fact. I'll be 45.
Okay. So Andreel's agreeing with the mid 45s. She
He
likes
agreed, yeah,
it. So it has to be between 43 and 48.
yeah. So we got a bunch of 40s in here. We got some 18s again, some 45s, some 30s. That's being very gracious. But by the end of this episode, we're gonna try to figure out how old Andreel is. I'm not expecting her to tell us. We're gonna figure it out.
So how did we meet? How did I meet y'all, you guys?
That's a good question. I think I met you through Suan.
Yeah, for sure. So it was Clubhouse. So Jamel, it was Clubhouse because I was connected to Jamel, and at this time, Clubhouse, everybody started clicking up and creating their own groups, and so I was like, I got to get my own group, and Jamel was close, and Jamel was like, yo, bro, we got to do something together, and I'm like, well, let's just throw a conference, and he was just like, well, we got to get a female, and I was like, well, let me reach out to Andreel. I know her from Clubhouse, and Andreel said yes. So
we was running the rooms first. And then we came into, because it was another guy out of Atlanta, and then the tall guy, Idris. I think he was in there. Yeah, because we were running Clubhouse rooms for a while. And I was like, oh, y'all in my market? Oh.
Yeah. It was a real estate moneymakers event. So that's why I just kept, for the meetup, that's why I just kept the, real estate moneymakers,
And Idris is from Raleigh. He lives in Atlanta now, but he's from Raleigh, so he was local. I started talking to him about some things around that time, and I met Idris through another investor from Raleigh. That was doing business. He used to be an educator. He's not necessarily an educator these days. I'm not sure what he's doing, but
he's doing group shared livings.
Yeah, I know Idris is. I'm talking about the other guy.
Oh, the other guy. Okay.
But this is how things happen, and when great minds meet together, we create something special, don't we? So, the current market, guys, how are you feeling about this market right now?
Bro, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So look, this is what I'm personally seeing. So in Greensboro, right, and I'm sure this is because Greensboro is like a subsidiary of bigger cities, right? Like we're in the middle of Raleigh and Charlotte, right? So Raleigh got like 2 million people, Charlotte got like 3 million people, and then we're Greensboro with like 650,000 people, right? So people in business are naturally coming here, and it's like a stable place that's still affordable to stay, right? Yep. Prices are still rising, rents are still rising, still good economy. But today is February the 9th. We've already had 6 companies that have been in business for longer than 10 years close that are on some of the main streets that people go to weekly for years have closed. And that's a big deal. And that's a big, so mind you, it hasn't just been tenants or businesses that rent, is also being owners that own the buildings as well. It's not either or, so it's definitely a particular market that we're in.
I know of one of them, Dame's Chicken and Waffle. Shout out to Dame. Yeah. They were pretty good. I hate to see them leave, but sometimes, I mean, it's just part of the business. You know what I mean? I know we got 5 others that, even in a growing market, this is still happening, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. You really got to know your market, but you also got to stay on top of your game. Sometimes no matter how hard, your numbers could always be lined up. The deals could be great. I'm gonna give you an example in just a minute. And sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to be. Real estate is a cash intensive business unless you're wholesaling. And even then you still need money for marketing, right? And sometimes all the ducks could line up and you could still lose some money. So I know we talk a lot about the good part of real estate, but there's also the dark side that a lot of people don't look at, and you need to notice. So we're here to keep it real with you.
Yeah. I mean, think about. I want y'all to think about how big this a deal is. So like Dame's Chicken and Waffles, right? They had, like they always stay packed during the daytime, you know, and so they probably got 3 guys on kitchen staff, they got 2 managers, they got 2 people on the bar, they got 7 people, that's servers, and this is all day. So they're employing 50 people. So let's just say the movie theater, the Red Cinemas, they've been in business for 20 years.
Let me stop you right there, bro.
Yeah.
I know why Red Cinema shut down, man. I'm not here to bash them.
Yeah, the Red Cinema shut down. Yeah.
I'm not here to bash them, man, but they wasn't the cleanest place, man. Last time I went up in there,
me personally, I love Red Cinemas because
it was good up until a couple months ago, man. We started seeing them big cockroaches, man. It's like,
well,
look,
I'm not trying to bash the business at all.
Yeah, Battleground. Yeah,
wow.
Battleground. Beautiful place. So I mean, so first of all, he's a serial real estate owner. Right. All of the buildings in Greensboro that have that kind of like graffiti style by Jet, that's his. So I mean, we're talking about a guy that got like 50, commercial properties in the area. He's employing hundreds of people in Greensboro, and the Red Cinemas alone, I'm sure he had over 60 people employed there. And so if you take the 50-60 from Dames, the 50-60 from the cinemas, the 50-60 from McCall's times 5, I mean, we just lost, 350, 400 jobs.
I used to love Red Cinemas, man. I had a bad experience there a few months ago, and I kind of saw it go down. I hate that happened to that particular business, man. Because again, here's a great company. I was in fact gonna be renting a spot from them.
I did
in order to be able to, because I told you I'm opening up a business with my kids now.
Yeah,
I'm looking at one of those places. The guy I was talking to, he wasn't necessarily. I don't know if they were the owners of Red Cinemas or not, but at the end of the day, I just hate that these businesses are shutting down like that. And I think Red Cinemas, I used to love going there up until that bad experience. I kind of saw it going downhill. Not to put
you off,
any
but
negative light on
I did a video shoot. It was a couple of days before 11/11. I rented out the studio to launch Real Estate Millions, and it was like in a movie theater. I needed the whole scenery of someone going in, buy a ticket, and so I came in, and then the guy, I guess he's the manager over there or something. He's like, we need all the publicity we could get. Like, I'm trying to help the guy out, the owner, try to get more people over here. And I was like, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. I took his phone number, but I did not know when did they close down?
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, during the big snow.
Yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago. Now, I will say, I believe they do great business.
Facts.
They got properties everywhere you see that artwork all over the city. That's them, right?
Yeah.
I think
they got the roses.
They're bringing up. Yep. They're bringing up the community for sure.
Yeah, they got the Speed Shop Max. Yep. The restaurant.
They're doing their thing, man. Doing their thing. I just think for that particular business, I can see why it went downhill. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to shed any bad light on them. I do think that they're a great business and have a great business model. But sometimes you can't have your hand in everything and expect it to the upkeep to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that, man. Shout out to them either way. I wish them the best. I think they're going to be fine regardless because they got so much.
Well, he owns the building, so I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he owns the building.
No, they're going to be fine, man.
Right? Yeah. Whether the business goes down or not, the building gonna have value. Sure. That kind of thing. Which brings us to like the next portion, of the market is like, why is this happening? Because if it's happening in the commercial sector, in my opinion, if it's happening to the big guys, the guys that's buying $2 million, $3 million, $4 million properties, it's got to be happening on a smaller scale to the guys who have, $80,000, $90,000 properties, but they just have like a bigger portfolio of 20 or 30 doors. Like, why is that happening? What y'all think?
I think that number one, you're absolutely correct. And number two, I think that with the shakeup in the economy and things like that, it's naturally going to have an effect on everything else, right? Whether it's good or bad, right? And I believe that money slowed down about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and people just became more cautious, which is totally understandable, right? So that's a part of the big picture.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you can see home sales started slowing down as the interest rates were going up, right? Because not only because the interest rates were high, but also the prices of homes became unaffordable when you match up the interest rate to you can't compare. You can't compare. Okay, so it's in the early 80s, you could buy a house for, let's say, $30,000. And the interest rate was 17% or whatever it was. You can't compare a $40,000 price point at 8% to a $400,000 price point at 8%. And then with the economy and wages, people not making enough money to be able to afford that, obviously there's going to be a slowdown. So people, and I know this firsthand. I had a couple flips sitting on the market for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because people couldn't afford. I bought those right, and that goes back to what I was talking about. You can buy right. You can do everything right. The numbers all look great on paper, but there's a reality check that comes when now let's say I couldn't afford those houses. You know what I mean? Let's say I couldn't afford to pay those, and I still have those houses now. Right? One of them I'm actually closing on. We were supposed to close on it January, whatever the last day of January was during the week. I can't remember. It was like the 30th or the 31st or whatever. Wouldn't have happened anyway because of the snowstorm. But the buyer literally had to back out. You know what I mean? For her own personal reasons. She had a financial situation she needed to take care of. I ended up just selling one of them this week. Friday, this past Friday.
Congrats.
So, under contract, but it took me 2 years.
It took them out that long time.
And I pray that they close for you. I pray.
You know what I'm saying? So that goes to show you that you need to be able to afford, especially when it flip. Everybody wants to get in the flip, and that's perfectly fine. But you need to have if I didn't have liquid money, or if I didn't have the means to be able to pay $5,000 a month,
that's right,
for the last 2 years, and interest only payments, then I would be in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get into that league.
The reason I'm able to do that, number one, is because we continue to do business. And also, number two, you got to have assets to be able to take care of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And also, you have to buy right. So even when you buy right, you can see that there can always be a factor where there's always something that it can be the market, it can be anything to take away your profits.
No, I got a flip that's been on the market for a year. Literally just expired for a year. I'm renting it out now. Yeah. I literally having to force my lender to take a monthly payment. Because you
can't move.
It's not moving. Like it's been under contract 3 times and they've backed out 3 times, and it's just like I'm not doing it anymore. Right. I'm not. First of all, it's perfect property, and so I'm not going to deed it. I'm not going to deed it back. And then secondly, like it can rent for great money, and what people want to buy it for is less than what is actually appraises at.
Yeah.
So that sets my lender up for a good opportunity. It sets me up for a good opportunity. So I'm renting it.
I'm gonna say this too. So right now we're in a spotty market, right? But
would you say it's a seller's market, or would you say it's a seller's market or buyer's market?
It's a buyer's market, man.
The buyer's market. Yeah, I think so too.
It's been a buyer's market for a while.
I think so too. At least for like a year. At least for like a year.
Over a year. I want to say probably a year and a half has been maybe about a little less than a year and a half. It's been a buyer's market at this point. But we saw it coming too. How long have we been talking about the buyer's market?
Sure.
It's going to shift. I've been talking about it for 3 years at this point.
For sure. Yeah, everybody thought it was going to happen during COVID, but that only delayed it.
That put it on steroids, man. That hyper. it created a hyper buyer's market at that point because everything just became unaffordable. And then when wages not keeping up with it, you know, that kind of affected everything. But even with, you know, I had to reevaluate an Airbnb recently. You know, now Airbnb was still going well, but when you got, I know here in Greensboro, I'm not sure about your Airbnb, Suan and Andreel, but for me, you know, when you're looking at,
let's talk about it.
Start slowing down in December, and then January, February, and they don't pick up until March, until maybe April, late March.
Let's
April.
talk about, bro. Let's talk
you
about
it. You gotta come out of your pocket and pay that mortgage every month.
Let's talk about and the insurance.
Yeah, the insurance on it, everything, right? So
taxes, triple.
So
labor, triple. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
So what I did recently, I know that rents, and I just contacted you a couple weeks ago. What were you getting for said properties in this particular zip code, Suan? And I immediately rented my thing out.
Yeah.
and I got way more than what I would have gotten.
Yeah.
You know, so I just moved I had all the furniture moved out. We had the property clean, still in immaculate condition. Because that's the benefit of Airbnb, by the way, guys. If you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it is.
Your property stay well maintained. Unlike, so you have way less wear and tear on Airbnbs than you would if you had a long-term tenant, right? So, you know, you can have an Airbnb for 3 years and move out all the furniture and it still looks like you just rehabbed the place.
Facts.
Right. So I was able to get somebody in there. We collected like, you know, first and last month's rent plus security deposit, you know, something that we always do. And now I have a long-term tenant. I don't have to worry about those slow months. You know what I mean? And we're making a good positive cash flow on it because I bought right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because I bought right. But Airbnb is a great business model when it's hot.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Why would you think there is a slowdown with that? It's
just seasonal. I noticed a pattern. I noticed a pattern in Airbnb, and it's the area as well. It depends on where the property is located, number one, because you can be, I got like Suan, you might be booked out all year round on certain properties, but then you got other properties, you know, like I got a property near A&T University, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's going to spike up around October, around homecoming. Right? So you know that's gonna get some.
The Airbnbs are always seasonal every year for me.
Always seasonal, yeah.
And so it's always the big event. So it's furniture market. It's furniture market. You know, homecoming, graduations.
Yep.
You know, and in between then is doing my best to find a contractor or nurse, you know, to sign up on a 2-month lease, 3-month lease. You know, or insurance company to sign up on that kind of lease. But it's always the big events, you know, or like a concert that comes in for the week. So,
and even even when it comes to, you might have a Verbo. You know, my Verbo calendar is connected to my Airbnb calendar. So 9 times out of 10, I wasn't getting any bookings on Verbo until I open up the date on Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or we might do what's the one where you do traveling nurses and stuff like that. Furnace finders. I never got anything from that. I used to get a bunch of pikers. You know what I mean? And that's on multiple properties. The closest I got to signing somebody up on that one was a contractor coming up from Florida, ready to sign a contract. I showed up at the house, he flaked out.
Yeah.
Outside of that, we didn't get much traction. I mean, look, we only spent $150 or whatever for the year, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Right.
I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to sound negative. I want you guys to be aware of this stuff.
Facts. But there is a way. I mean, we literally since the new year, since we've been in our office, we've gotten 8 deals on the contract. So there, just so you guys know, all the doom and gloom, we're just giving you what the real estate market is like. But there are deals. Yeah, but there are deals to be done. Yeah,
you're gonna make way more money than you're gonna lose money if you buy right.
If you do it right,
you're gonna continue to hear me say if you buy right.
Yeah.
So you got to know your numbers. You got to know your formulas. You got to negotiate good deals. I made way more money than I've ever lost in real estate.
Facts.
Period. I don't even like the losses are so minimal.
Facts.
You're talking, it might be a couple $100,000.
Facts.
I'm a kid who grew up in the projects, and I can say I lost a couple $100,000 and be fine with it.
Facts.
You understand what I mean? So the losses, nobody wants to lose money, but at the end of the day, it's just a reality of business.
Yeah,
I'm still here 24, 25 years later, still operating. You know, even with the down parts, and it's only because I continue to surround myself with people like Suan, Andreel, continue to operate business, continue to treat people the way I want to be treated, and that's it.
Why did you do that?
What's up?
No, I was like, someone was smirking. I was trying to figure out what you did that for.
I'm laughing at you. She's trying to wipe her camera. Girl, your camera ain't clear. Mine ain't either. Jamel's camera look real good. That's all. Jamel's camera look good because he got a nice camera. We need to upgrade our cameras. Okay.
So going over there. He said he has a production. I already talked to him about that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about, you guys are gonna have some questions about what we're talking about. We are gonna get to these questions later. Because it's super important that we talk about this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, somebody asked, I grew up in Red Hook Projects in Brooklyn, New York. Ask anybody from Brooklyn about, you could Google it. That's where I grew up, one of the toughest projects in New York City. But I started off buying houses while I was living in my grandmother's house in the projects.
The sacrifices.
21 years old with no money, right? So you think of create when your back is up. You guys might agree with me with this. I think people let the lion out, or people are their most creative, or people might achieve the highest level of greatness when their back is up against the wall.
Oh my goodness.
You agree with that?
Yeah, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
But do you think there are people that don't, and then just?
I think if you want something and you get sick and tired of being sick and tired,
that's when change happens.
That's when change happens, man.
Well, let me say this. So I was at the car dealership. I remember this girl named what was her name? Rachel. Her name was Rachel. And at this time, I didn't have the capacity, or I didn't have the mindset to save money. But Rachel, I remember one day she explained to me that her zero was $10,000. Yep. So her brain would say, "Oh, I need $30,000 in my account," but her like motivation would kick in as though she was on zero when it got to 10,000.
Yep.
And so I think when she said that to me, it's like, oh, I just need to change my thermostat. So instead of me getting to zero, and then my motivation goes up, I just need to raise my financial thermostat so it kicks in at 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, 5,000. So that way I have that same feeling like I'm at zero, and then I can go to the moon at that point versus getting on zero and now I'm stuck.
You had nothing, right? That's why I tell people, and I ended up in financial literacy coach by default, but you have to raise that zero. Don't have zero as your minimum in your bank account.
So I honestly think that when people start making money, they get a little too comfortable.
Facts.
And by the time they realize that they've gotten too comfortable, they got to start all over again. I think that's a problem, especially when you come from nothing, because you want to buy everything and you want to do everything and you want to enjoy what you never had. But then by the time you get it and you start enjoying it,
how do you help that? How would you suggest helping that?
You gotta keep your head down, man. You gotta stay hungry at the end of the day.
Yeah, some people do, but there are some people that's okay.
People count their money before they actually get the money.
Yeah, but there are some people that reach that level and then they plateau out, and that's where they stop.
Yeah,
so
I think it's I think you get over stuff like that by having, number one, it can't be about you. It got to be about other people.
Right.
So for me, it's about me carrying my family on my back, right?
Mm-hmm.
That motivated me throughout the years. I got 5 kids. I got a wife, got a father to take care of. When I can, I got a family, man. Right.
That's
so I think by me carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, it might be stressful for me, but is it really stress? Like not necessarily. I think that's what motivates you to catapult. I think if you got a big enough, this is cliche. I think if you got a big enough reason why you're doing it, I think that's what keeps people pushing. It keeps your. I think when people are broke, when they ain't got no money in the bank, I think you make desperate decisions, which can be good or bad, because your desperate decision could help lead you to a creative finance deal, for example. Like my first lease option deal in 2006. I thought my way into that deal and didn't know what I was doing. And I made like $40,000 on that thing, right? I think when you're desperate, you make decisions that can hurt you or help you. The key is knowing how to. Sometimes it's good to have somebody show you how to operate properly, but sometimes you just got to operate desperately, man. And I think if you operate under desperation for too long, you start making decisions that's going to affect you now, but not help you later.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask y'all something, because I don't know if y'all seen this or not, but being the person that, like you said, I'm doing this for my family. I have family to take care of. That's what keeps me going because of this, right? So in the recent headline news, just sidebar real quick, with the rapper Glorilla and her sister. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
What's going on? Did you see that,
Jamel?
Jamel?
I saw you post about it. I don't even, I'm barely on social media like that, man.
Yeah, I know. So in short, so of course she's the one with all the money, right? She was the one in the family that made it out. And so she supposedly had like 9 siblings. And one of the siblings came forward recently and was like, she don't take care of my mama, she don't take care of me, and just putting it out there. So some people thought that the sister lashing out, saying she never did nothing for us, putting her in this bad light. But then the people were saying that the sister is entitled. So as breadwinners, as people, let's say successful, if you're the successful one in your family, do you feel obligated to help family?
I've tried to put family on, and I'm not saying all family business is bad, but I would hate to sour a relationship, even friends. I would hate to sour a relationship if things go south, because people, they see the profit that you can make. They see the potential, but they forget about the other side of the business that we was just talking about a minute ago, right? You can also lose money.
The risk,
you can lose,
the sacrifice.
Right? And when it comes to that point, that's obviously going to affect the relationship. And then you become you go from being the greatest cousin in the world or the greatest friend or whatever in the world to, I don't even want to use the S word and get blocked.
It's like
you become that guy that I lost money with, and it could be it could just be one of them opportunities, one of them things. And it happens. It's business, right? But you can't explain that to people who don't understand business. So I prefer not to do business with family. And if I'm going to give you something, I'm just going to give it to you. You know what I mean? But I'm also, you're not going to keep coming back to me because I didn't work hard to get to this point. I did this to be able to take care of my kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm offering you an opportunity and I'll say, let's go ahead, let's fund this, or I'll show you how to do it. I have friends, man. Like, you got me. You have me.
Exactly.
You have me.
No,
right?
This is a crazy. This is a
I
crazy
topic. I want to show you how to do this.
I hate this topic, y'all. Just so y'all know,
I don't like it either.
I despise this topic.
I don't like it. I don't like it either. But let me finish up my point real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't. So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I had a guy I grew up with in Brooklyn. He moved here to North Carolina, and if he's listening, he knows exactly who I'm not gonna blow him up. He kept saying, "Yo, I want to get into real estate. I want to do this. I want to do that." I gave him every opportunity to be able to do it. He expected me to do it for him. That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. So I'm not going to give you, I had to earn it.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to give you all the resources so that you could get there much quicker than I got there. But I'm not going to give it to you. It's like hitting the lottery. People, the average person who hits the lottery, they never had that much money before. They're going to blow it.
They're going to end up right back.
If I could teach you how to get there and keep it, that's going to benefit you way more than me just giving it to you. Now, don't get me wrong. If you need something and it's that much of an emergency, I'm going to give it to you. And I'm not expecting it back.
Maybe.
maybe.
Right. Maybe.
So, like if it's my father, for example.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or my
parents is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, given.
But I'm not gonna buy you a house, Ma. I'm gonna have you move in.
There you go.
You know,
for sure.
Like okay, look, this is the way I see it. This is where
that's one thing I wasn't able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish in my life.
Yeah.
My mom died at 53 from cancer, so I wasn't able to buy her the house. You know what I mean? That's one thing I regret.
But you bring your pops around all the time. Like
my pop, he's here. You know? He moved here from Brooklyn to be with me. But I wanted to buy that house from my mother, and I couldn't.
Yeah. Like when we did the Real Estate Moneymakers Conference, you was like, "Hey, you know, just so you know, my pops come with me, and he's the DJ. That it just is what it is. We're gonna pay him the DJ.
Real nice.
I think that's looking out. I think that's looking out.
That is looking out. You know, but I don't believe that you should be responsible for giving. Some people, I mean, this is like you said, Suan, you hate this topic because some people, we all got different opinions, and when you make it, I think, and I don't mean this in any negative way. I think people who never had the money say that they want to give everything to the family,
and they ain't even got it. They ain't even got it.
They actually get the money, and then it's easy to make the money. It's easy to lose the money. It's hard to make it.
That's right.
No, bro.
In the comments that I'm seeing.
So in the comments, somebody said if I had $1 million, I would set my family up a trust. Let me tell you this.
That's a lie, bro.
Okay, first of all, a trust is just a piece of paper. Yeah. Okay, first of all, because a trust don't do jack. Okay, you got to know how to make the trust make money. Let's just say the easiest way you wanted your trust to make money was putting it in an endowment account. So on average, an endowment, you know, what you do is you spend the interest. So it's just an account. It earns interest every year. You're not able to take the $1 million out. You just take the interest. So an endowment typically makes 6%. Well, on $1 million, that's only $60,000.
Ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing for you. That ain't nothing for your family.
No way.
No way. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing.
So, why do you hate the topic though?
Because of that particular thing right there. Because
when people have more financial education and they realize, again, it's difficult to make the money, it's easy to get rid of it, right?
Who made $1 million, and then also who made the $1 million that has the ability to let it sit in the account and they not spend it themselves, only the family gets paid off the $1 million. Come on now.
And I think $1 million is not enough.
No,
I think you need a minimum of $10 million just to be okay,
bro. Literally, in the last 2 weeks, bro. You it's mortgage time right now.
Yeah,
it's mortgage time. I done spent that paper.
Yeah,
I done spent the paper. The banks be looking at me like I'm crazy around this time because I go from having 50,000 to 5,000. They like, what's going on?
Wait,
you okay? They're like, okay, is everything all right?
Yeah,
you know.
That's how it works, man.
I think I understand that, and I think the common thing that I'm seeing amongst people, I haven't seen too much differ, but people that have made great financial success think the same way, because it's like you cannot continue to maintain and continue to build to the level that you want in order to do what you need to do if you continue just being frivolous by giving that income out to people that just can't get it together. Yeah. And and so that's what it was about. But some people's like, oh, I'm taking care of my mama and my sisters. No, but we don't understand.
Broke in 3 years.
Their relationships matter. What was your relationship like with them? So I think all of that plays a part. But
I think you can still keep your relationship, Andreel. I think you can still keep your relationship if you give from the heart. Don't give all the time, because then it becomes expected at that point.
If you're an able-bodied adult, especially if I'm giving you access to what I know for free, like you said, you got access to me.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you do this and get this result,
and you ain't doing nothing about it,
like I ain't got time to do that. I need you to give me money. I need to pay my rent, but you just went on a trip.
Yeah.
And because you got
That's
it,
my
now
point.
you're selfish because you didn't pay my rent for me.
So when you learn to achieve, when you learn to work to a point to where you can gain a certain level of financial success, I know it's easy because I used to say the same thing. When I make this much money, I'm giving you gonna have a house. I'm turning to Oprah out here.
You got a house. You got a house.
You got a house. You going. But when you actually make the money, reality kicks in. It's not easy.
I got a house. I got a
house.
I need another one.
I'm gonna help you. It comes from you got a house to I'm gonna help you get a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you don't want to go out there and earn it,
facts.
I can't help you.
So at that point, then you're like the selfish one because you got it and you don't give it. So
I don't care.
You're selfish because you don't want to help me you don't want to help give it to me.
And I am generous. Anybody from my old neighborhood that contact me, I tell them, look, I'll give you all of the resources you need to be able to get to where you want to go. I'm just not going to do it for you. Yeah. And I got my own business going on. You know what I mean? I got stuff. I got, people contact me for, free coaching all the time. I don't do free coaching. It takes some time. Yeah. And people, that's actually disrespectful to even ask for free coaching.
Facts.
It took me 24, 25 years. Pick your brain is the most disrespectful thing.
Nobody like, can I pick your brain? So you want everything I invested in for free.
And it's not that I don't want to help you. Of course I'm going to sit there and answer your questions and all of that stuff, right? But that's why I jump on these platforms so we can help. But anything outside of, I do one-on-one coaching, not for everybody. But these people invest good money to be able to have me help them in a real way. And I get it. Some people just don't have the funds. Those are the people I really want to help to be able to get there. So that's why I have the free community. That's why I have the free YouTube content. And I put out content almost every day because I want you to ask questions. And I look at your comments and I create content wrapped around that. That's what I have time for. It takes me 30 minutes to put a video together where I can pretty much answer a question I was asked by 100 people.
Right.
But if I got to do this individually, I'm gonna be burned out. I'm not gonna be able to help anybody. So this is the best way to do it. You got to hop on these lives. You hop in the community, ask all the questions. We always get all of the questions answered. So
yeah, good.
No, this is good stuff. That was a great question to raise. I appreciate you bringing that up, Andreel. Suan, you wanted to add anything to that? If not, let's talk about the strategies that we're working on right now to be able to make money. We talked about the negative part of the business. It's always good to lead with that, in my opinion, because people now you know what to expect. But now, how does that become irrelevant? Because you make so much money, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I do always believe that no matter the negativity and the noise that goes on in the market, I always believe there is the 1% that's always doing well. They're pushing the market forward. They don't have any choice but to do well, and anything that comes their way, they can handle it. So I've always done my best to put myself in those shoes. And the deals we put on the board this year all came from, some form or fashion of direct to seller leads and follow up, and follow up. Follow up. Yeah, it's been about the follow up. It's been about the follow up. So we got 4 lots under contract right now with 6 acres. Literally been following up for 9 months. Okay. Another one from Ashboro that we got a closing on Wednesday. A year follow up. Another one I went to on Saturday. That one came from that lead came from a realtor that I originally met in July of last year at a meetup that I spoke at, you know, and consistently emailed and texted her and got the lead in. And now she sent the lead in a month ago. Now I've been following up with the seller ever since, you know. So I think I definitely think it's follow up because sellers haven't caught up. I think sellers who haven't caught up to how long the average days on market are, you know. And so if those sellers are under any kind of distress, you know, any financial distress, houses in physical distress, got a code violation or taxes, and they can get whatever the amount that they're asking for, but in this market, they have to be willing to wait for it. And if they're not willing to wait, they don't have any option but to talk to us. But the caveat is we got to be talking to them long enough for them to get ready to work with us, you know. And that's a big deal.
That's why I tell my students, make that seller remember your name. Keep calling.
How about you, Andreel? How about you? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say definitely is going to be the follow-ups. That's what I've been talking to my community about. Because follow-ups, planting seeds, and following up. You got.
Funny, I was just talking to a coaching client about this the other day, man. I was like, you know, you're gonna do these initial contacts, but the real money is it has always been in following up with people.
Yeah,
it becomes this snowball effect. So as you're planting these seeds, you know, the only way for a garden to grow and it stay cultivated, things like you got to cultivate the land, obviously, right? But you gotta keep watering it. The only way for the garden to really flourish is to keep watering. That's the follow up right there.
Yeah, I think I was telling Suan earlier. I had one. She was like, "Yeah, I've been doing this 3 months, and I ain't got nothing yet." And then when I was talking to her directly,
not long enough.
She was not following up with nobody. I'm like, you just going and going. I was like, no, you have to follow up. It's like I'll do that, and then she just fell off by the wayside.
Just that one shift changes the game, doesn't it? Right? Just
absolutely
the thought process with it.
So I call it the high school crush. Another thing that I'm seeing working right now is it's just going for those terms, you know. That's always for those terms. Yeah.
So and that leads me into this, man. Why wholesaling and creative finance? First of all, let's talk about why it's such an effective strategy right now. You know, we all do it, but why should investors be doing that right now, especially?
Well, wholesaling. I haven't wholesaled in a long time, up until this year, to be quite honest. It's been at least 3 years since I've actually done an assignment. But this year I'm doing assignments because it's quick cash, no responsibility. You know, there's zero responsibility in a $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, you know, deal. So a lot of the times, as being a landlord or a fix and flipper, the first responsibility you got is the debt. The second one is the insurance. The next is the taxes. Everything after that is a liability. Squatters, the contractor running off and taking your money, or whatever the case is, the tenant not paying you. But in a simple assignment, you know, where you're buying the deal as it is on the contract, and then you're finding a buyer to sell to that same day or the next day without having to do any work. There's no responsibility other than making sure that the seller is there on the day of closing and signing.
That's it.
You know, and that's a beautiful thing.
And then too, it works because it's just allowing you to be able to source your own deals. So even if you do get the quick capital, or you don't, want to sign a contract, you still have a property that you can cherry pick to purchase that property free and clear. So that's why I like it, because if I can get them free and clear, they free and clear all day.
I love wholesaling as well. I think the biggest piece that people miss when it comes to wholesaling is understanding, like you said, the follow-up. It's the marketing business, right? If you're not a great marketer, you're gonna have a difficult time wholesaling houses. If you're not a great negotiator, you don't even have to be a great negotiator. You just got to talk to enough people and present your offer. I guarantee you go talk to 50 people, you're gonna get one contract, right? But and you could be the least experienced person and talk to 50 people and get a contract. But I think people, I think with wholesaling is great, quick cash. But I think people, especially when they're by themselves, they don't build a business around wholesaling. So it becomes a full-time job that when the minute you stop or you go on vacation or something like that, the money stops. Right. So you gotta build a team. You can start off so that you can have the ability to be able to train team members, but you gotta eventually build a team. And you can even do it right up front if you really wanted to. You can I'm not going to get too deep into that because I don't want it to go over your head. But
we should talk about building a team. I'm loving it. I forgot how much I love doing it.
We definitely going to get into it.
Build a team.
You can build a team not knowing anything and still be successful. You got to know how to. A lot of people don't know how to be a leader. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you gotta know how to be a leader at that point. So you got to train yourself. So based on your skill levels, based on your abilities, wholesaling can either work for you really quickly or it can take a little longer for you. It just depends. It's really up to you as a person, is your personality and things like that. But I think wholesaling is great. It's great quick cash when you have something under contract, because it can take you a year to wholesale a house. That's not quick cash for some people, right? And the reason why it can take a year is because you have to develop the skill sets. You wasn't ready yet to be able to put the house under contract, to be able to understand how to get the closing company, to be able to close the transaction, to find a buyer. You develop those skill sets over time. But once you get that first one, the second one, it just happens. You know what I mean? You just know what you're doing at that point. So you're able to create checks on demand. But a lot of people are not able to do that. 99% of people are not salespeople. And that's exactly what wholesaling is all sales. The reason why Suan is great at it, the reason why I'm good at it, we weren't in sales before we got into real estate.
Me too. I was at American Express sales.
See?
So
sales.
I had to sell them
the reason why
phone upgrade.
Yeah, the reason why NASA, my man NASA is great at it, right? Flipping, he got his book, right? The reason why he's great at it, he was doing phone sales before he got into real estate, right? Mm-hmm. So he was at the call center, he said. Mm-hmm. But the whole point is,
that's where I was too, at American Express.
So you got to have some type of skill set that you're bringing into this in order to be able to move relatively quickly. And then as a business owner, for me, I don't even when I first started in real estate, I never thought about, let me learn this first and then go out and do it. No, I did it and learned while I was doing it and made a whole lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? So I'm more of a go-getter type of guy, where I don't have to know anything about it. I'm going to figure it out. A lot of people want to know everything before they ever get started. That's called analysis paralysis. Because what ends up happening is they'll get too much information and feel like they need another piece. They always feel like something is missing, when it's really not. The only part that's missing is you getting out there and actually taking action. I just told you the formula. Go talk to 50 people. Make 50 offers. You're going to get one contract. It's as simple as that. You wanted to flip 100 houses this year, make 5,000 offers.
Facts.
Period. It's really that simple. But some people feel, how do I sign the contract? How do I know I'm going to be able to get a buyer once I got the contract? What do I ask the seller? Forget about all that. Talk to 50 people, pull up a foreclosure list, call everybody on the list, make 50 offers. I'm telling you, you're going to make 20 grand. Period. But how many people on the line right now? 50, right? Out of these people that's on the line right now, one person is going to actually do exactly what I told them to do. One. And if you're that one person, I want to hear about it. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. People want to buy courses. They want to, go on Chat GPT and feel like that's going to be their new coach.
Just as somebody said that they want a mentor. They AI.
That's Chat GPT ain't in the trenches actually doing the deal.
You gotta be in the trenches.
You gotta, somebody asked that a second ago. Do you think I could use AI
to create a finance
be a real estate coach? You can use AI for anything, but AI is I don't think people really understand what AI is, especially Chat GPT. Let's call it that. Chat GPT is nothing but an aggregator. So it's pulling information offline and having a conversation with you. That's all it's doing. and it bases its conversation off of what you tell it. So if I told ChatGPT, I'm completely broke right now, what do I do in order to make $10,000 in 30 days? It's going to go to the internet and try to put piece information together to be able to tell you something that they haven't proved themselves.
All right.
So to me, you can use AI to be able to do stuff like that, but you'll also see that as you use ChatGPT, that's the only AI I've ever used besides, call centers and stuff like, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, you can use ChatGPT to be able to get information, but you're still going to have questions, and ChatGPT is not going to tell you how to have that conversation on the spot.
Yeah. Miss Stephanie said, if it doesn't matter how much we read about swimming, if we don't get in the water, we'll never learn.
You're going to drown the first time you get in, because
fact.
reading and actually doing is two different things. You know what I mean? I can't learn how to swim by going on ChatGPT. Right? If I didn't know anything about swimming right now, ChatGPT would give me the basics, but I got to be in the water in order to learn how to swim, in order to learn how not to drown. And the person that's going to teach, I'm not expecting the instructor, if I hire one, to swim for me. They can save me from drowning by being there to hold my hand, but they can throw in the what do you call it? The lifesaver thing, right? But they can't swim for me. I gotta get out there and actually do it. I love that analogy. Right. ChatGPT can give you the instructions. A mentor can save your life. They can hold your hand, pull you out of the water. ChatGPT can't do that. A mentor is in the water with you. So if I had to, just to answer your question, that was a great question, Stephanie Lopez.
Yep.
Great question. Can you use ChatGPT to be your mentor? Yes, you can get basic information from it. But do I think it replaces what a mentor can actually do? Probably not. ChatGPT is learning from people like me and Suan and Andreel who post stuff online, and we're already 10 steps ahead of ChatGPT. You know what I mean? Can you learn something from it when you don't know anything? Yes. Would I hire ChatGPT to be a lawyer for me if I was fighting a criminal case? No. No way. I'm going straight to the lawyer. In fact, I got a lawyer friend who I pulled up something on ChatGPT. I wanted to test him just to see if he could pick it up. And I sent it to him. He said, you pulled this over ChatGPT, didn't you? I said, yep. How'd you know? He said, just the way it's worded.
Yeah. It gives it away.
Yeah. So I know that was a little outside of the topic, but it was a good conversation again. Yeah. So why wholesaling and creative finance won't work for certain people? What do y'all think?
They don't have what it takes to continue to keep going. I would say they don't have that consistency. They're not consistent in doing what they need to be doing to make it happen. Taking action.
I think a lot of people don't know how to close, to be quite honest. The hardest part about building a team right now is literally nobody knows how to structure a straight line. Like, Jamel, you know what I mean? Like, like I told Mikey, so I've already created a system where we have a virtual assistant. We have somebody getting lists. We have a virtual assistant get numbers. We have another, way to get those leads out of those numbers. Then we make offers on those. We get them on the contract. And then we have a disposition website where buyers make offers. But still, at every point of contact, there has to be somebody there as a touch point to close. And Mikey is the last one. And we had an offer come through on the disposition website for $139. All he had to do was stay at the 139. But because the buyer was a better negotiator than him, the buyer came back at 135. And I heard Mikey behind me. He's like, okay, well, let me call you back. I'll let you know. When he got off the phone, I said, bro, what are you doing? 135, he submitted the offer at 139. Why would you agree to $4,000 less? Doesn't make any sense. He said, well, what should I have said?
Learning.
I said, bro, you submitted your offer at 139. I can't do business with people like you in the future. Granted, if we do this deal at 135, just know we're not doing a deal again. I'll be happy for you. We will make money, yes, but we're never doing a deal again because I can't do business with people who don't hold up to what they agreed to in their original agreement. Just like how you expect me to come through for you, I expect you to come through for me. And this is a pure example of how you're not coming through for me. I'm going to talk to my manager and I'm going to let him know about this. So are you sure that's what you want to do? I'm telling you, at literally everything, down to our office, I am negotiating every single day, but that makes people tired.
Good question that just came in from that, though. How would a person actually know what to say then, if that's the case?
They wouldn't. It comes with experience, in my opinion.
Exactly. It comes, bro. That's why I said that's why the office is such a vibe, because literally Andreel has so much confidence. Her office is like 3 doors down from mine, but I can hear her from my office, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and if she has an electric energy and I'm on the phone and then it climbs up through my back, and I done caught that energy, and now I'm on the phone, and then it vibrates back to her, and to Mac, and to Mikey. And that's a powerful thing. You don't know what to say until you hear somebody else say it.
You know what's so powerful about what we're talking about? Because people buy home study courses, right? You can't teach experience. You can teach the basics in a home study course. You guys agree with that, right? But you can't teach what's going to happen on the spot. And I tell my coaching clients that all the time. You can't teach what I just did on the phone for you on this. You can't teach that. It just happens.
Right.
Yeah.
It happens with experience. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to live it. You just got to do it. You got to be okay with making mistakes, because the only way for you to learn is to fall. Right? You got to, as long as you failing forward, you learn from those mistakes. It's how you get better on the phone.
Right.
Your nerves.
I messed up that time, but I'm gonna get it
won't
right
mess up again.
time.
Yeah.
So your boy might have fumbled $4,000. I bet you he won't fumble. That was a $4,000. Bet you won't do it again.
Yeah, I didn't make him feel bad about it either. I just told him what I thought he should do, and I just guided him from there.
That's it. Now, if he does it again, that's on him.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts.
Either
way, it was on him, because let's be serious. We all get paid off of what we kill.
For sure.
But yeah. No, there's no way other to do it. Which is why you got to be able to get in the room. You guys got to get in the room when it comes to business, whether it's real estate or another business. You gotta touch shoulders with Jamel. You gotta hear how Andreel speaks. You gotta see the confidence. Yep.
Which leads us to this. What are we doing next week, y'all?
It's a meetup, real estate money makers meetup. Let's get it.
It's not going to cost y'all nothing. We're giving away the book. We want to meet y'all in person if y'all local here in North Carolina, if you're in surrounding states, even if you want to fly out. Look, it's not going to cost you anything. If you flying out, it's going to cost you the
ticket and lodging,
the room and board.
Yeah.
At least we're not charging y'all for the event. We just want to come out here, spend a couple of hours with y'all, and we just want to have some fun, right? Go to dealproacademy.com/meetup. dealproacademy.com/meetup.
Yes, meetup, Allison.
What is it? Thursday? Next Thursday, is it?
February? Yeah, next Thursday.
February 19th.
Miss Allen said meetup ? So look,
he said exclamation mark. That's
right, exclamation point. It's so, and I feel the excitement. I appreciate this, Miss Allison, because a lot of the times people don't get a chance to see someone on YouTube, see their success over years, right? Have the proof of concept, learn something from them, but then be so close where they can come to their office or to their place and to their city and literally be able to shake hands, meet, and talk. So. Yep. So I think that's a big give from Jamel, from Andreel, from myself, to be able to get in the room, to be inspired, and to make a connection. Because at the end of the day, for me, the reason why I like doing meetups is because my future partner, the person that I'm going to be making money with, are at those meetups. Right. And so when you guys come with that intention and you pull up, pull up with who do I need to
Who
meet?
is in the room?
Right. Who do I need to meet to do a deal with? Do I need to meet somebody that has deals? Do I need to meet a lender that has money? Do I need to meet, someone who has, rehab experience? Who do I need to meet and expect those people to show up,
Now, it's not a seminar or anything like that. We might teach y'all a little bit, but it's really there to network, talk to other investors,
Absolutely.
really get yourself out there, see how we can all make some money together collectively, right? So you might be a good fit for Suan. You might be a good fit for Andreel. You might be a good fit to work with me. We might all work on something together. But the point is, we meet up in person. We feel each other's energy, see if everything aligns business wise with us, and then we see if we want to do some business together. That's what this meetup is all about. We're not there to teach y'all from A to Z. We're not there to sell y'all into the next seminar. No, this is going to be beneficial. So we're looking for high level thinkers, high level people. Even if you're brand new and you just want to get your feet wet, starting to get people, starting to build some relationships, come on out. You might have to invest a little bit in some room and board. It's going to be well worth it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I got a student that's coming from South Carolina. That's coming up. He's going to stay at the Grand Over and come over and hang out with us. And be in the room. Be in the room, catch the vibes.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
That's where the magic happens, and the people that you connect with.
Now, Suan and I, we did paid events. We've done it all, right? This one is not that.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to learn how to do the business, if you want to, if you're looking to buy the next home study course, this is not that event. But could you meet the next partner that you want to do business with? Yes. And that's why we want y'all to come hang out with us. It's just how long is it? A couple hours?
Yeah, it's 2 hours, 6:30 to 8:30. Get in. We're having it at the event. That we're partners in the building on downtown Greensboro. So it'll be fun. So our partners, they're gonna have actually a little bartender there, to serve everybody, make sure everybody's good. And we'll make sure we bring the vibes, as far as making sure we have good company for everybody to network with. So, but yeah, 6:30 to 8:30. Don't be late because we will be starting on time and leaving on time as well.
For sure, we got kids to get to. Another thing, y'all know me. I don't even like to go outside, man. So,
absolutely.
Now this is a great question that Andreel raised in our text line here. Why who you know matters in real estate? Now, Suan, I gotta admit, you've been in real estate for what, 10 years now?
Yeah, 9 years full time. In July, it'll be 10.
10 years in July, it'll be full time, right? So, I think that you are definitely one of the best networkers that I've met. There's another guy I know out in Tampa who's an incredible networker. So I want to ask you that question first. Why is who you know so important when it comes to real estate?
Well, I mean, first of all, that's just the way God created us. He literally created man, and then he turned around and created woman. So there has to be two, and then he said, where two or more is in the present, when two or more gather together, he's in the present. So, I mean, that's just the way God made us. But secondly, in real estate investing, this is either you have money, either you have knowledge, or you have time, but you don't have to have all three. So technically you can have the knowledge and have time, and then somebody else is willing to bring the money so you guys can do the deal, or, another array of those three. Either way, you don't have to be able to do it all. You can use that value times leverage and it will equal money. It doesn't have to be you bringing it all. That's and, right. Because, real estate is the collateral, the mortgage is the deed of trust, and the insurance is the private mortgage insurance. So all of that right there is like the perfect storm for like creating this business model that's protected by collateral that actually has this future makeup called appreciation. And so, You know, it's a beautiful thing. We don't have to do it alone at all. And most transactions, at least from my experience, are not done alone.
Good stuff, man. How about you, Andreel? What do you think?
What was the question about?
My answer was so good. Well, she was paying attention, baby.
No, that was good. That was good. That was good.
I keep telling Andreel, the more she's in the office with me, the more I'm gonna have to send her an invoice. I say something, and she'll be like, "Oh my god."
I told
you're gonna learn you something
today. I said, y'all, I got something for y'all. We're gonna restructure this because I had me an aha moment today. And
no doubt.
He said this, and I said, okay.
So,
but
the question
that does prove to be why it's important to net. What was the how was it phrased?
You got it. Why is who you know so important?
Why is who you know important? Because it can help you on your journey to level up, whatever that is, whatever journey you're on. It can help you level up based on the knowledge that's around you. So I love that because. And then too, I like it because I always keep my name clean because I tell people I don't play about my name. But it's just a matter of I can call on this person whenever I get in a bind or whatever the case may be. There's someone there that's like, okay, I got you. You know, it's just a willingness to help you in certain type of situations and be like, okay. But yeah, I would definitely say it will help you excel in your journey. They said if you're smart, you learn on your own. If you're wise, you take it from other people. So I've always considered myself a wise person. I'm going to plug myself around people that I can learn from. That's going to help me on my journey and also adding value to them and just rising together. So I would say that's why it's important. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, I have a lot of heavy hitter real estate friends. And I tell people, and I'm like, I'm just excited about that. Whatever lane that they're in or whatever niche that they're in, I have powerful people that's all around me. So it's like you have all the pieces on the board. And it's just a matter of just, connecting the dots at any moment.
For sure, man. I think it's easier to pick up 10,000 pounds with 10,000 people than it is one.
Facts.
So if you want to tackle the giant, it's easier to have an army behind you. So I think that when you network, that's a bar right there.
I like that. 10,000. I'll take 10,000 pounds with 10,000 people. I was like, oh, dang, he rapping. I was like, oh, he freestyling. That's it.
No, but I think that honestly, I just think when you network and you surround yourself with the right people, they say you are. And they say you become the closest 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So, if you want to be successful, networking will get you there. But you got to network with the right room. You got to be in the right room. You got to network with the right people, and you don't want to be the biggest person in the room because that's a problem as well. If you are the biggest person in the room, there's really no value for you there.
Right.
So you want to purposely be the smallest person in the room so you can be able to come up. That's why I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes.
So we got a bunch of questions. We want to take some time to answer some questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. But we got a bunch of questions already. We're gonna go through the chat line before we hop off the line here. Give a bunch of shout outs. And also the question of the day. How old is Andreel, y'all?
Tell me.
That is not the question of the day.
So this is a great question.
They're like, I'm gonna skip trace you and everything. Like,
yeah. This is the I'll skip trace you real fast.
No, you tried it.
I did it right in front of you. But the Buffalo, I think it's the Buffalo Soldieress. The Buffalo Soldieress had a very very good question. So how do we buy right? This goes back to what we were talking about earlier today. You gotta buy right. How do we buy right? Can y'all explain or give an example? Great question. I'm gonna let y'all go first.
That's good.
How do you buy right? Let's go with Andreel.
I would say buying right is knowing what those numbers are. I'm a fan of buying off market. And it starts with the base number and then being well below that.
Yep.
So I come across a lot of deals where my deals are just super cheap, but
Mm-hmm.
the lower I can
You
get
sent
it,
me
the
some
better.
stuff. You sent me some stuff over the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
I
Yeah,
come across some
you be
stuff
on it.
that's just,
Yeah,
but yeah, so that would be my thing.
for
Buying
sure.
well below the market value.
For
So
sure.
if
So what?
something happens with the market, then you will be able to ride that wave. Okay,
That's
so
right.
I think I purchased. I had a house built 2008, and then y'all know what happened. The market crashed. I bought
Mm-hmm.
right at the
Man.
value, and then it tanked. So,
Yeah, for
but it was a
sure.
learning lesson because now I was like, we won't do that again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Suan, what's your answer to that?
My answer is that take note. She bought a house in 2008, y'all. Okay.
Mm.
Be quiet, because that ain't.
Hey,
I hear you.
we're getting in there. Okay. I graduated high school in 2008. Let's go to that.
That's
Let's go to that.
So you can't buy. So you can't
You
buy a house in
graduated
high
high
school
school in 2008, bro.
So
08.
you're telling
Class
me
of
you cannot
08.
buy a house in high school in 2008?
Class of 08. Hey,
Are
look.
we saying that we can't buy a
Hey,
house in high school?
hey, now y'all should getting offensive. That's how you know we're getting close. We're getting close.
Hey, we getting close, right?
Getting close.
All right, Andreel, I'm gonna ask you this. I graduated high school in '99. What year did you graduate high school?
Come on now.
Things that make you go.
If I tell you that,
Yes.
then you're gonna know my age.
So look,
know?
see, I bought
Oh
my
my
house. I bought my
God.
first house when I was 24. You know, I bought my first house, and from my friends, that seemed like it was a young age. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was very mature at my age, so I really couldn't buy a house.
You
She was
know,
older than everybody else in the class. She was
You know.
mature. Okay.
she talking about I bought a house in high school. You go buy houses in high
Is that
school, I
impossible?
guess.
Is that not a thing?
Yeah. But hold on. What was the question, bro?
So, how do you buy right? How do you know how to buy right?
Okay, just to give you some strategy, when you look at comparable sales, you're going to see two ranges of comparable sales. So let's hypothetically say that you're on Google, you're looking at the for sale, and you see all of these yellow dots on the map of Zillow, and it tells you the numbers of what houses sold for. Some of those houses might have sold from $100,000 to 150,000. But then another set of houses will have sold for 250 grand to 300 grand. So because you see that, it doesn't mean that, comps are everywhere. I can't figure out the comps. No, what that means is real estate investors purchased between 100 grand and 150 grand, and then they fixed those houses up and they sold those houses for 225 to 300. So if you want to be a real estate investor, you need to focus on buying houses in that range of 100 to 150 where those investors purchased at. So when you're looking at comps, separate the comps in as is comps and then retail comps.
Let me add to that. So, because the market shifted over the last couple of years, pretty much nationwide, some markets are still hot, right? And this is on a market by market basis. You can't use the 70% rule, for example, in every single market because it's just not going to work everywhere, right? And the comp system is going to be different everywhere as well. But you really want to adjust to the market and what's actually happening in the market. I would take the closest sold comps to the date that so today is what?
February 9th.
February 9th. I will look at everything from like 30 days ago and then go out 60 days. And if you can't find enough, you want at least 3 to 5 comps, right? And the reason for that is because you need the most recent comps that you can get. If you go out 6 months like you could a year and a half ago, you're going to be in trouble. Because stuff is sitting longer Also, days on market matters right now too. That matters big. Days on market. So you want to know what recently sold. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days should be your cap. If you can't get 3 comps out of that, you're probably in a slow market. I would really think about being in a slow market right now. Especially if you're tying up money. You know what I mean? Now, if you're wholesaling, it doesn't really matter. But I would look at 30 days first. If you don't have enough comps, go out 60 days, go out 90 days till you got 3 to 5 comps, right? And then from there, take the average of how long each of those houses were on the market.
Facts.
And make a decision from there.
Facts.
And your objective is to find out what you can actually sell for and how long it's going to take to be able to sell it. If you were, let's say, to rehab it. But if you wholesale it, it doesn't really matter. You just want to know what you should actually offer because your buyer got to do all the homework. It's not your job to tell a buyer all that information. You know what I mean? Now, that's in the seller's market. In the buyer's market, you might have to feed your buyer a little more information. You know, buyers can be picky in this market. You know what I mean? So just be careful with that. And you know, you can use the 70% rule and all that stuff. You know, it depends. I don't necessarily use it all the time. But at the end of the day, just know your comps and then know that you're not going to pay your comp price. Try to get it at half, you know, if you can.
Or if you can get
and call it a day. So that's how you know how to buy right. Sometimes you're going to pay 30 cents on the dollar. Sometimes you're going to pay 40. Sometimes you're going to pay 60 cents on the dollar. Minus the repairs. But that's how you buy right. That's how you give yourself enough breathing room to where if the floor dropped out on you, you could at least break even, make a little bit of money on the house. You know what I mean? Even after 2 years of being on the market. You know, so just keep that in mind. That's a great question. Did we hit that on that nail on the head?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job.
Sounds good. What other questions we got here? Let's see. I'm looking for everything with a question mark. So if you ask something and it doesn't have a question mark, I'm probably going to skip right over it because I didn't know it was a question. Seller finance or subject to, are you putting it under a trust? I'll let you go first, Suan, since Andreel had the last one first.
So yes and no. Yes and no. It just depends on how you're setting up your stuff. So just understand that your trust, there's a trustee and then there's a beneficiary under the trust. Most of the time, your beneficiary is going to be your LLC. Yep. So, so if it's my personal house, I'll take the trust. You know, if it's a subject to deal, it's absolutely gotta be a trust. But if it's a seller financing deal, does it have to be a trust? Not necessarily. You know, not necessarily. And for me, it just depends because to say that I'm about to have 60, 70, 100 different trusts for each property, I would be lying to you if I said that was my case. I'd be lying to you. I'm telling you, it's hard to keep up with. Right now, I think I have like 9 LLCs that hold entities. That's hard. I got different property taxes. I got, you know, all of the
renewal fees every year.
Got different accounts, like at least 2 different accounts. Stop playing, son. This ain't YouTube. This is real life. You know, so, you know, is there a perfect answer? Hell no. You know, is it best to put it in a trust? Maybe for your situation. But subject to, always a trust, no matter what, always a trust for subject to. But for seller financing, that's just going to be up to you and what you're using the property and your circumstances, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that myself. I got a lot of LLCs too, man. And that $250 a WAP to renew every year.
That's just the annual fee. And then we're not talking taxes.
Taxes on top of that, it gets crazy. It gets crazy, you know. So I agree with that. As far as the trust, though, for me, seller finance, and I'm definitely going to use a trust, 100%. I would rather. I mean, that depends too, but like I've learned the hard way, and you know this, Suan, about, you know, you putting too many things under one company and you get the vultures coming out. You know what I mean? You're You could be the best person in the world. They're trying to see what they could get out of you.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So you could be right. It don't matter. There's somebody out there trying to get what you got for free.
Absolutely.
So I'm just real careful with that type of stuff. So, I think it depends on your setup. But like Suan said, and I agree, because that's the way I set it up. Your trust, your beneficiary of your trust is going to be, well, your PR is going to be, meaning your personal representative is going to be an LLC, and then you're going to have another LLC just to be the beneficiary of the trust. That's the way I would set it up personally. But do you need it for every property? It really depends on your state. It depends on a lot of different factors. So I would definitely just consider those things. Andreel?
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Cool.
I have trust out there, but then I have no trust on some of them. So it just depends.
Sounds good. Good stuff. Another question. I believe we kind of addressed this. It was a great question. Could I use AI as a mentor for creative finance? I think you could learn the basics of creative finance. I think that, and I'm gonna keep it real, I think that if you're using like ChatGPT or something like that effectively, it can go hand in hand with a mentor, but a mentor is actually on the ground.
Yeah.
I think that you can learn some things if you have a home study course and you use ChatGPT in addition to that, and you know how to use AI in order to be able to get that deep into it. I think it can be an effective tool, but I don't think AI can replace people. I think AI is smart. I think there's certain jobs. AI has ChatGPT, and when I speak of AI, I'm saying ChatGPT, but there's a lot of AI out there. ChatGPT hasn't made $1 million yet on their own.
Yeah,
the company has, but not the AI bot. You understand what I mean? The AI bot doesn't know how to deal with people in real life. The AI bot doesn't know how to deal with a tenant that doesn't pay. The AI bot can tell you the basics of how to create a marketing campaign, but it can't. It's going to test out the messages right along with you.
Right.
Your human smarts is what's going to teach you in real time how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your wits. I think that AI bot can give you a decent message to start off with, but what happens when that message flops? Because it's gonna flop.
Right. And then you have to tell it flopped. Give me something better.
And then it's like, well, and then it's gonna blame it on you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So you just got to be smart about. I think that somebody with experience is always going to be superior. I think there's a certain portion of the job market where AI can replace. Like, so for example, you might go to like a lot of fast food restaurants. They have this AI bot that you're actually talking to now to order your food if you like fast food. I don't like fast food, but I see it. Right. That's replacing somebody that has to stand at the window and order your food. You walk into another fast food restaurant, you might have to order, and then your food is delivered out, but they're not back there flipping the burgers yet. I think there's a certain level. I think AI can't replace skill sets. You understand what I mean?
Now, Miss Stephanie, I think we still need people. I really do.
And it's going to be like that for a while.
I think if you want to learn creative financing, what I think you need to do is talk to a seller that got a paid off house.
Yep.
That's what I think you should do. And you need to tell your story. I'm trying to help my family. I'm trying to help my daughter, my sister, auntie, cousin, brother, whatever. I want a family compound, or
be honest.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think you should find someone that has a paid off house, and you need to tell them their story, and you keep doing that until someone loves your story and it resonates with them.
Talk to 50 of them, you will get a creative finance deal.
Yeah.
How do you structure the creative finance deal? Maybe you could talk to ChatGPT, but again, you gotta.
Yeah, AI don't own no property yet, so
that's it. Or made $1 million.
Yeah,
no properties owned.
Andreel, how you feel about that?
I think, you can use it to a degree, but it's just not going to be, it's not out there in the field. So
Yeah.
You're not going to get that field experience. That's going to be lacking.
That's right. So how do you get started with real estate investing when you have bad credit? We just gave you the blueprint on that just now.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You want to start with that, Andreel? How do you start when you got bad credit?
Flipping real estate contracts, wholesaling.
That's one way for sure.
Yeah, use that contract money to get that credit up. To pay them bills. Stop playing. Stop winning. Because really we got to work on becoming better people, and the business is still as equally hard as it was in the 90s.
Yep.
But realistically, we just get better ourselves. We get better at speaking to people. We get better at paperwork. We get better at relationships. We get better at teams. So the way you get started is get you some. I do like assignments. I do like assignments for for getting some cash, and just use that cash to, like I said, pay somebody to
get
help
that
with
foundation, raise your zero.
Yeah, right.
I want y'all to keep in mind.
Right. Pay off some credit card debt.
There's always going to be somebody else out there buying a house if you want to consider that competition. I don't believe in competition because I believe there's enough houses out here for everybody, right? So there's always going to be that. There's always going to be, I think we're actually better investors today than we were when I first started in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. And it's because we have access to more tools and resources, right? But there's always been competition. There's always been the next strategy. There's always been this. There's always been that. But like Suan said, we just become better, and we're able to get to the bag a lot faster because of the information that's out here. But that only works when you take action. A lot of people don't take action, and that's the problem. That's why there will never be that much competition. How many people you think are interested in real estate? I see YouTube channels out here with a couple million followers. There's no way all of those people are buying houses because I'm still buying some. You know what I mean? There's always going to be a 99% and a 1% because 99% of people don't do nothing.
At all.
You know what I mean? They just don't do it. So, and just to your point, Golden Sun Kiss, I was 21 when I started and had like a 525 credit score because I destroyed my credit. Right out of high school, I graduated high school in 99. I started getting credit card offers once I enrolled in college. I never went to college. I didn't go to college, but I started getting credit card offers, right? And I ran them credit cards up. I didn't know nothing about credit, but I ran it up like it was free money. I destroyed my credit, right? And then I couldn't even pay it back. So my credit was absolutely destroyed. And I was able to start while living in the projects in a bedroom, buying houses, and nobody knew. So if I can do it, you can do it with bad credit. And wholesaling wasn't really a play back then. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that people was actually doing, and it was public knowledge back then. It wasn't like that. So the point is, you can buy wholesaling, creative finance. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Those are the two strategies I would say: flipping them contracts, getting some seller finance, and that's how you can, anything that doesn't involve going to the bank.
Yeah,
you can make money with in real estate for sure. You know what I mean? I know two people that want to sell their house. I have no clue on how to do it. Okay, talk to them, see what the numbers look like. We just gave you the comping system. We also just told you exactly what to do. Get a little bit of knowledge. I got courses on this stuff on creative finance in the Deal Pro Academy. Again, it's only $97 a month. And we also do bi-weekly calls just like this, where we answer everybody's questions on the calls. Shout out to Thabit, handles all of the coaching for me on those calls. But again, you just got to do it. Don't be scared. Just get out there and do it, man. Figure it out. Right? I hope that helps you out.
Yep.
Shout out to Rashawn Reed. He's actually one of the callers I hired this week. Wanted to give him a shout out.
All right.
He started making his calls on Saturday. Let's make some money together, brother.
Let's get it.
Good job.
Let's see. Who else we got here? Here's another one from the Buffalo Soldieress. Should those who don't have a background in marketing or call centers consider not going into wholesaling? No, I don't want to say that. You never know what your potential is until you actually try it. I think everybody should give it a shot. But I think that most people, I think anybody can do this. I think most people give up way too early.
Facts.
That's just my firm belief. I watched so many people who had potential, even if they didn't have potential, they just gave up. They just stopped, or they're not consistent enough. Consistency. Yeah. I could be the lamest real estate investor in the world. If I'm consistent, I'm gonna make $1 million. Period.
You're gonna get it.
Period. I could call 10,000 people. It might take you 50 calls to get one contract. It might take me 1,000 to get one contract. Both of us are successful in our given right. What kept me successful is the consistency part. That's where most people fail.
I also think it's okay to leverage your job. Like if you have really good leaders at your job, your job is doing marketing right now. Mm-hmm. And so somebody's in charge of that marketing at your job. So would it be while you're there spending all day at the office, instead of scrolling through your phone when you're bored, would it be beneficial to talk to those people and talk more about the marketing that? So like, for example, when I was at the car dealership, I can specifically remember talking to the general manager about the marketing he was doing. He would say like, oh yeah, I'm sending out 300,000 postcards, and I believe X amount is going to come back as leads. And I think in order for you to get appointments off of those, I think you should say this to them. Matter of fact, here's the list of people that I sent it to, and I think that's good game that you can just repeat in your own businesses, so, and it doesn't matter what your business, what. So Wake Tech, my mom works for Wake Tech, a community college. One of their marketing strategies that they do is to go to the job fairs. They're going to job fairs at colleges. Right now, I got a real estate trivia tour where I'm going around to different colleges, interviewing college students, and I offered them to come into the office. 2 college guys came into the office today. So
right.
I honestly think it's so funny. Andreel's here, so she see it, but people think that just be making this stuff up, and they think it's just like, oh, he's just saying that. No, like it's like really happens.
Real life,
in real life, in real life.
So let me ask you a question then. How much of this did you know before you actually started doing it? Because people are gonna be like, well, you have the experience. How did you know how to do that?
No, well, I didn't necessarily know all it was about marketing. I didn't really know anything about marketing. But I knew everything that I could know, at least I thought, about sales. I was confident enough to say, oh, I can talk, I can talk, right. And that's through my grandfather waving at everybody, talking to everybody as I'm a child. You know what I mean? My dad having me make business phone calls for him. And then I sold car parts while I was in, college. Not a lot, but, 2 or 3 a month. And so that was enough confidence to say, well, I can talk.
And that's my point right there. Most people, they want to know everything. They want to feel super confident before they hop on the call. It doesn't work that way, right? You got to just do it and figure it out. You didn't know everything about, hey, I'm going to go to the colleges and then the college kids are going to want to call for me or whatever the case may be. You just did it. You figured it out. You're having fun with the business.
Facts.
And I think people are too analytical rather than being creative. I think when you're more creative in the business, you're going to have more fun. If you're too analytical, it can hold you back.
Facts.
So
yeah, jump in.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, y'all. Going down this list here. Game Boy 730 said, hit me up in the Deal Pro Academy. Shout out to you for being a part of the Deal Pro Academy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Appreciate that.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
If you want to check out Deal Pro Academy, just go to dealproacademy.com/YT for YouTube. /YT. Dealproacademy.com/YT. Also, join us at our free meetup in Greensboro, February 19th at 6:30. Andreel over there still trying to wipe the camera.
No, I was yarning. Thank you.
Oh, I'm boring you. So
no, I'm just.
No, she getting old. That age is catching up.
So what? Trivia question again. Trivia question. How old is Andreel? She's just young. She's just young.
Oh my!
We have several. We have
Okay, I
several.
will tell
This
you.
is
I will tell
we.
you.
You're gonna tell us?
I'm gonna tell
You
you guys.
you gonna tell us?
Yeah, this is just between us. Oh, you
Okay.
okay?
Oh, so you mean the whole world? Okay.
Hold on, don't discourage
You,
you. I've
wait,
been
before
waiting
you
for this
say
for
it,
a long
before you
time.
say it, billproacademy.com/meetup. Listen, this is not costing you anything but some time, and that's gonna be time well spent. You got 3 vets that have been in the business, been through the ringer, made a whole lot of money. Our companies have made a whole lot of money doing this, and we want to network with you. See how we can partner,
I'm
see
gonna
how we can
network
do
with you
some business
guys so you
together,
can learn.
whatever the case may be. Come meet up with
Rub
us next
shoulders,
week.
add value, and whatever you guys are good
Add
at, put
value,
it out
yeah.
there.
You might
When
know
you-
something we don't know.
Yeah, when you
I'm
put
trying
you
to
the
figure it
meetups,
out.
Yeah, let us know what it is.
So
that you
Andreel,
do.
drum roll.
Nah, I know drum roll.
Let's go. You gotta live up to your word
When I say I'm gonna tell y'all,
right now.
I didn't say that.
You did.
No, I didn't. I said I'm gonna tell y'all.
You said only us on you said only us on YouTube. So we on YouTube.
Facts. We are on YouTube.
Let's see.
I don't even know why this is even a question.
Andreel, do you offer mentorship?
Real estate millions on school.
There we go.
Yeah.
Real estate millions on school. If you want to get the millions.
Real estate millions on school.
There we go. Suan, where can they find you?
You find me on Instagram. I'm willing to talk to anybody for 15 minutes. If you wanna know how to that's a true statement. I jump on the phone with anybody for 15 minutes.
Yep.
But if you wanna, if for whatever reason you wanna head out to this farm life, get you some chickens, some goats, shoot at the range when you want, invite people over to your property and make some money so you can live for free. Farmhackingacademy.com.
My God.
I was telling them your Instagram.
Yeah.
You said on Instagram, but you didn't give me your Instagram.
Because I want them to go to farmhackingacademy.com.
You said you can find me on Instagram.
This is me taking action. That's what it is.
This is me taking it. I'll play with the words just like you play with the words.
No, you was like, you can find
I'm still waiting for your age.
All right, so check it out. Do y'all do virtual deals? I feel like I'm one of the kings in that.
Yeah, Jamel.
That's my thing.
I'll help. I don't do them directly. I just joint venture with my students that it's in different states.
Yeah, I do a ton of virtual deals. That's my thing.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta get you. I gotta get one of y'all in there to do a virtual class.
Yeah.
Well, one of my coaches said she do it.
Everything I do is virtual, man. I work from home, virtual. But there's pros and cons to everything, right? So let's see this. Consistency and a follow-up. But what happens when seller keeps pushing you off? What would you do? That's a good question.
I'm not answering that. She in my group.
Hey, you need to get better at talking to people. So let me tell you, you got to try different stuff. So one of the hardest objections I had is when I was on the phone, right? And I'm talking to a seller who has a vacant house, and I kept getting that, oh, I don't want to sell. And I'm like, bro, the house is vacant. I just went by it. It's falling down. Why don't you want to sell it? This is one of the best. I kept trying different stuff. And this is one of the best things that I ever said to a seller that had a vacant house. I said, hey man, well that's what's up. I'm not trying to, bombard you about your house. Great job, but I need to know this. I need you to put me up on game. So right now I'm putting them up. I'm putting them up on a pedestal. And I said, I need you to put me up on game. Okay. Whenever I buy a house, I have to fix the property up. So I got to put more money in it. And then I got to rent the property out, and because I have bills to pay. I got a mortgage, I got taxes, I got insurance. Because if I don't, then I have to pay those things myself. But I run across a bunch of guys like you, right? Y'all got 5, 6, 10, 50 properties and they vacant. I don't understand how y'all keep a business going and make millions of dollars doing that. What am I missing? How can I be like y'all?
Talk to you.
And what they're gonna say is, you shouldn't be like me. I'm bleeding. I'm cutting grass, and And it's just like, well, and so that gives you the opportunity to bring down that wall, so that way you can bring in a solution to their pain that they just start telling you about. But to answer your question, you have to keep trying different things. Don't just give up on the call. Yep. Figure out, lower your tone, maybe whisper, go in a higher pitch, maybe ask a question, maybe repeat the last three things that they say. But
find out what they like.
Right. Find out what they like, what their hobbies are, what they family about, figure out what their goals are. And then that should bring their walls down. And so you can continue the conversation and get a real answer.
That's it. Because naturally, people get bombarded with calls, so they're going to try to brush you off. But you find out what they like, you create some type of common ground, open up the conversation from there. And that's how and that comes with following up. It's like what we were talking about earlier today. You're not going to kiss a girl on the first date. You need to build a relationship. Well, you're not going to marry her on the first date.
Hey, come on.
There we are.
You're not going to get married on the first date. You got to build that relationship. You got to build that relationship. When you build that relationship, eventually that can lead into something, and then it goes from there. It's more crazy.
Hey, we're just having this conversation. So we got young guys in the office right now. And so one of the words that the older generation, like Andreel, because probably she's older. The older generation, they'll say court, right? But the younger people,
courting.
But the younger people, they'll say trick. They'll say trick. And so we had this conversation about like whether women like to be tricked on.
We have Stephanie. Let me see this here. I just saw.
Stephanie said she waiting to get in y'all school group.
Cool. Stephanie, she said I would use AI for the numbers though. Let me repeat this. I would use AI for the numbers though to see if it's a good deal. I agree with that to a certain extent because I've done it and I was multiple times I would have overpaid for a deal drastically, like by $200,000. So you got to be careful. Always run your numbers on your own as well. You know what I mean? Because you get some quick numbers. You're right. Can you get some quick numbers while you're on the phone with the seller? Yes. I wouldn't use that as solid numbers to justify a deal though, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback on this real quick. Come on now. How does AI know how much the plumbing is in your area? How much the labor is? How much a roof is? How much?
It's guessing.
Come on, stop.
It's guessing.
Stop. And don't do that. Don't do that.
Let's see what else we got here. Is it wise to put a rental property in an SD IRA? What do you think? Self-directed IRA. Is it wise to put a rental property? I think so. Yes, if all of the profits are going back in to grow your IRA account for tax purposes, tax benefits, I think it can help. But if you're looking for immediate cash flow to live off of right now, it's probably not a great idea. But I think it depends. I think it depends. It depends. So I mean, if your IRA, let's say your 401k right now on average is bringing in 6%, but you find a deal that has 30% in equity and you can bring in 10 or 12%, well, of course that's a win because you got appreciation and you got a higher percentage annual return. Absolutely. But there is a lot more things that could go wrong over time in that rental. And so you have to be willing to take on that risk, associated with that. Because it's not just about making more money. Because anytime you make more money, you got more problems. That's just how it is. Yeah. So, yeah. I will say this as well, just to add to what I just said and what Suan is saying. If you do need immediate cash flow right now, you can always use your IRA as a private money lender to your company. And then you can always pay the IRA back where all of the profit will go back into the retirement account. But if they lend the money to your business, then, on that side, you can profit from it through your company. So just look into that. I'm not going to explain how that works right now. FOF K9711 says, add me to the Farm Academy. I requested. The only way to get into the Farm Hacking Academy is to go through our free training that we have. It's farmhackingacademy.com. There is an investment to get into the Farm Hacking Academy. So if you want to join, check out the webinar, see if it's for you, and then take it from there.
Right.
Let's see. Just went to school, waiting on membership on Farm Hacking Academy in school. We just covered that as well. Let's see.
Get in there, y'all. Now is the time. Yo, my April calendar is crazy booked. I open up with a gospel concert March 28th. And then we got the Easter egg hunt. Then I got trail rides all freaking April. I mean, so
on your farm, all on your farm.
Yeah, all on the farm. So get into the farm. We have a range day on February the 21st. So get into the farmhackingacademy.com. And essentially, just so if you guys don't know, it's all about buying property with land, and you learn how to make that land make money so you can live there for free. And that's what it's about. And so
can I get that affiliate link for Farm Hacking? Y'all got that set up in school?
Yeah, I'll get you set up on that. Ain't no problem. Sonia T says she graduated in 1985. Was that from high school? Was that from college? Are you around? Did you graduate in 1985 too, Andreel? I'm trying to figure that part out.
She's replying to Roro. She's saying she graduated in 85. Roro's graduating in something. I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand all of it. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So, the question of the day before we wrap this up. How old is Andreel Harris, y'all? That's the question of the day. How old is Andreel Harris?
The question is, did y'all get a lot out of this? YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Did y'all get a lot out of this?
Tonight?
If you did, make sure you like this video and share it. I'm gonna leave it up on a replay. We might have to have my editor clean it up a little bit. But no, seriously. Did you guys benefit from this? We plan on doing another one in a few days. You guys want to do another one on Thursday or so?
Yeah, I'm down for Thursday.
Cool. So we plan on having another one. What topic?
I might pop on because see, like y'all gonna be on there for some hours. So once I get off with my VIPs, I'll be on.
Hey, we just having fun right now. Listen, if we do it in a couple of days, what do you guys want us to cover? Leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like it, subscribe, click the notification bell as well, so you get notified when we do go live. And also get your questions together. We didn't get enough questions tonight. I don't believe we got enough questions in tonight. So
yeah,
two different things to that. I mean, we did.
She wasn't bored at that time. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. See, look, everybody was enjoying the entertainment tonight. They was watching.
We either did a great job, or y'all was just enjoying it, or
Juicy Gallery. You're wrong. She's not 30. She can't be 30. I'm 35.
I am. You really think I'm that old?
Girl, you was born in 1985, Andreel?
Yeah, 30. You're not 30 because I was born in 1990. So that means no.
I was born in 81, man. I'm an 81 baby.
You really think I'm that old? Or really think
look at all these grades, man. My wife was just looking at my head earlier, said I look like I'm salt and pepper, but it only on a reflection. You can't tell.
Over what
the light got to hit a certain way.
All right, I got them in my beard now. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's old. Y'all old. Wisdom. They say wisdom. That's wisdom right there.
So you went back. Let me ask you. So at least answer this: did you go back a year, or did you come up a year?
No question.
Brian Perry said 34. She older than 34, bro.
She older than 34, bro.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm 35. I graduated in 08. She was buying a house in 08. So Andreel, she wasn't a senior. She wasn't a senior.
Okay, so are we saying that you can't be mature to buy a house in high school?
You're not buying a house in.
You ain't buying. No, you ain't. Who co-signed for you in high school without a job?
Are we saying? Are we saying that can happen?
Yeah, it can happen, but
no, that's not
you. It ain't happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not happening. It happened for Little Romeo, but not Andreel Harris.
So, do flood zone? Well, flood zone is a risk for are flood zones a risk for beginners? Yes,
it is a risk for everybody.
The risk for everybody.
It's a flood zone.
Yeah, I wouldn't even buy in it. But
I don't know.
I would wholesale in it, but I ain't going.
I don't know.
I ain't gonna.
I
buy
don't know
no
what they're doing, Sonya. At this point, it's who knows? It's just I have no idea what they're saying.
Yes, we are, Miss Sonia. We are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are online.
In front of everybody.
But in fairness, she asked us to
yes. And then she said she was going to give it away. So she teased us. And didn't say nothing.
She's like, y'all funny.
So what exactly is wholesaling of property? Great question. I'll let one of y'all answer that. Andreel, you got the floor. What is wholesaling real estate?
You can go to Real Estate Millions. I have a course in there for free. Give you all the stuff in there. You buying a property undervalued from a motivated seller, either distressed property, you get it under contract, and you find an end buyer to come in and you assign your interest in the property over to someone else.
There
to the
you
back
go.
end.
Good stuff.
You're the middle person, the middle woman, the middle guy.
Middleman income. That's right.
Your Home Depot. Your
Middleman
Amazon.
properties.
So got another question. I guess, how do you put a renter inside of a subject to property? It depends on
Zillow.com.
There you go. That's the best. Honestly, Zillow got a whole setup, man.
Yeah. No, I put 2 up for rent last week, and that's how I put up on Zillow. And
they got the renters, they got the leases, they got everything, and it's free.
Applications.
They collect the rent for you.
Application.
They do everything. You can stream everything on Zillow for free.
But you got to be careful with them pay stubs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, them pay stubs, some of them be, you got to be careful.
They are fictitious. I'm like, how are you making this?
You want to verify them pay stubs for sure.
Pay stubs. It's crazy.
I'm still trying to figure out how people doing that. Well, it ain't that hard.
ChatGPT. Give me a pay
ChatGPT.
stub, and this is where I work at. And I seen something that was so ridiculous. I'm like, are you serious?
That's actually that's a good point, Andreel. I'm glad you mentioned that, because people are liars, man. So you want to verify all of the information that they give you for sure, and always call the last 2 landlords. Because if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So instead of a quinceañera, I want a property for our firstborn. She is currently 12. So you got 3 more years. 3 more years to get that first property. Let's go.
We'll get Congratulations. Let's get it.
Let's see here. And subject to, is it under your name or still under the seller's name? Still under the seller's name. Well, the property is under your name, but the mortgage is under the seller's name. The mortgage the note stays under the seller's name. The property goes under your name. Always remember that. Or your trust or whatever, LLC. All right. So just be careful with how you do the paperwork. Always have an attorney close the deal or a closing company, because you can easily get yourself into some trouble with it and you don't know what you're doing too. All right. Shout out to us. I just want to thank y'all for sharing this valuable information. This is from Grown KLA. Can't wait to get started in farm hacking from Greensboro, currently in Ohio. Shout out to you. We're looking forward to having you on board. Let's see. Do you mentor wholesalers in New York? Yes. I just had a client do a couple of deals in New York. So if you're talking about the boroughs, it's a little different than if you go to like Middletown or something like that. The game is different in the boroughs for sure. So you got to be more well-connected in the boroughs like me. Well-connected. But if you're talking about, if you're talking about going upstate listen, I'm from Brooklyn. I started off in Brooklyn. The game is different even when I started in New York. New York in the boroughs is an equity play. That's, you focus on equity. But if you go upstate, you can definitely play the game. I don't believe in buying rental properties in New York unless you're playing an appreciation game. The reason for that is because New York is even a rental property game is just difficult in New York, because you're talking about a tenant-friendly state. takes you a year to get somebody out, and they, you could literally not pay you rent for a whole year. But wholesaling could be difficult in New York as well. You got to go through an attorney, and it could take you 3 months, 4 months just to close the transaction. So you're not expecting some fast money paydays in New York, and a lot of times the attorneys will kill your deal. So rather than doing that, you could go right across to New Jersey or even Pennsylvania,
right?
And now you're in the game. You could go right to Connecticut. Now you're in the game. So if you want some mentorship with that, I'm not cheap, but I'm not the most expensive guy out there either. I try to look out for people. Just go to dealprocoaching.com. Let's take one more solid question.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna wrap it up. You ready? Do you help folks in California? Yes, I do, for sure. Where you are, but we look. The game is played the same everywhere you go. The only thing that changes are the logistics of how it works in your area. So yes, I do. So final question, and we're gonna wrap this up. Can we buy a house with foundation problems for fix and flip? You can buy whatever you want for fix and flip. As a beginner, I would never buy a house. So here's the deal when it comes to fix and flip, especially as a beginner. Start with starter homes, number one. Starter homes are going to be hot, especially if they drop the interest rates this year. I just did a video on it just the other day. I released it, I believe, on Friday. Watch that video, right? So take the median price of where you're located, divide it by 2, make that your ARV, and then you're going to buy below that, right? But do not buy big problem houses. It's going to be cash intensive, and if you don't have a lot of money, it's going to drain your pockets. Ask me how I know. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is focus on properties with cosmetic stuff. Do light cosmetics.
Cosmetic girl.
Till you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Don't buy foundation problems, because look, it costs you 15. I bought a house on auction.com. Didn't know it had a foundation problem. It cost me an extra $25,000 that came out of my profit, right? And I'm an experienced investor. Don't let that happen to you, because you might not recover from that. You know what I mean? So don't try to do the easy stuff first, and then focus on, as you get cashed up, then you focus on the tougher stuff. All right. Listen, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. Be sure to check out Andreel at Andreel Harris on everything. And Suan at This Is Me Taking Action on everything. And obviously yours truly. Come back to YouTube. This is my platform. I got some Facebook stuff. I'm not really on Instagram like that. I got like 26,000 subscribers, followers on Instagram, but I'm barely ever on Instagram. TikTok, I started posting a little bit more, but you can get all that stuff right here on YouTube. Check it out. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Join us again in a couple of days. We're coming back to answer more questions, to provide more value. And if you guys want to see it, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll be sure to talk about that on that day. Listen, Suan, go back to your kids. I'm going to get to my wife and kids. Andreel.
I'm going to bed.
How old are you? See, look, she on the bed. It just turned 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'm starting to understand your age. You're getting to bed already. But look, it's been real. It's been fun. I appreciate y'all joining us today. Talk to y'all in a couple of days. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all at the meetup.
Bye.